Business with a servant's heart. Welcome to the podcast. Inspiration, motivation takes. Listen to the podcast. We're all about to talk about life. Our guests will share their life story. We want you to success in life and business. We're ready and we will start shortly. We're gonna talk about life. We're going to speak on business. You're gonna shine bright. We are going to witness. Business with a servant's heart. With hosts Steve, Ramona, and Ray. Inspiration, education talks. Listen to the podcast. Steve, Ramona.
Welcome, everyone, to Doing Business with a Servant's Heart podcast. I'm your host, Steve Ramona. I am so fired up to have you join us today. This podcast is dedicated to exploring the idea of doing life and doing business with a purpose, and that purpose, obviously, is with a servant's heart, making an impact and a difference in people's lives. Our guests are going to motivate you, inspire you, and educate you to move towards that purpose, to show you how to do it, to overcome obstacles, to impact and make a difference in the world. Your call to action today, audience, is start serving yourself and others today and realize what impact you're going to create today. The key word is today. Let's get started today. Why wait a week, a month, or a year? Let's get going today. And I want to thank my incredible sponsor, Pantheon Alliance. Join a community of high-income entrepreneurs and business leaders to create a world-changing thought leader platform to grow your business together with these wonderful people. For more information on Pantheon Alliance, just reach out to me and I'll get you all the information. Impact and difference. It's huge. And we're out of COVID now. It's 2025, probably a couple of years, maybe a little longer, but events are starting to pop up. And one of the things that my guest does is live events and how powerful they can be. I've been part of them. I've hosted them. I know they work and they can make you, bottom line, a lot of money. So let's welcome our guest, Kathleen Davies. Welcome to the show.
What a pleasure. Thank you, Steve, and thank you, your sponsor. And thrilled to be here and help to convey a message of staying with it. And if your focus is on the greater good and the greater number and adding value to the community, which is what you're all about, it always seems to work out for me. And as long as I don't look inward and I know I have something that I can share with the community and make them even more successful than they already are, then that is why I'm here. And thank you for having me. And happy to answer your questions and see if I can convey a message to your audience. Appreciate it.
I love it. Well, I mentioned live events. I've been part of them on both sides of the fence. Why live events? Why should the audience have these?
Why events? Well, it's about the love. Bottom line, it's about bringing people that love and a passion for community and for competition and for entertainment. And see that that's a great way to connect with everybody, because we're all on this planet, frankly, to help connect and help others. And the more I focused, again, outward and on why we're here and what the benefits to adding value really are, it's about the love. It's about the love with one another and all the creatures that are on this planet. And as we start with a new administration with this country, it's good to remember that that's why we're here, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. So people listening are like excited to hear this. What's their first step?
If they want to get involved in what I do,
events. They want to do events. Where would they start? What's a tip you give?
You know, it's all about research.
Yeah.
It's all about doing your data analytics. It's all about understanding what's out there, doing a competitive analysis, seeing who else is doing what you think you might want to do. I would absolutely want to do what we call mystery shop, secret shop, analytics of current events and see how they set it up and how they advertise it, the digital presence, the on-site presence. And once you have that information together, and even volunteering is a great way to find whether that's your niche, whether you're contributing, whether that feels good to you. It didn't always feel good to me, but the more I did it, the better I got at it, the better it felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah. More you do, the better you get. Absolutely.
Right.
So the steps on how to do it, now they've agreed or thought, okay, I could do events, live events. Is that something you do, or do you have people that can help them walk them through the steps? Because it's complex. It's not easy. Is there people out there like you that can help them?
Oh, absolutely. Well, SMRI and Survey Edge are two platforms that have been in existence for 29 years. And I started back in 1995 with Wayne Huizinga, one of the greatest entrepreneurs that I know personally, one of the owners of, at that time, of an NFL team, and he has passed, I guess, 3 years ago. Wayne was an amazing entrepreneur. He saw what I was doing. He introduced me to the NFL. And he said, you know, you wanted to do economic impact, have this woman help you, because it's about the numbers and understanding where people are coming and what really drives their interest in attending the event. And we're talking a very high-end event.
Yeah.
And so I did economic impact with the NFL and with Miami. And Miami's been such a gracious partner to what I've done. I've lived there for several years. And not only Glenn Mon, but Wayne Huizinga and Rodney Barreto. And Rodney still does events down in Miami, but working with some of the greatest people that believe in what you're doing and know how to use the numbers to not only market, but broadcast and tell the story to the people that are investing a lot of money in these events, that you're getting some great mileage, right? You're getting, the sponsors are well recognized. The sponsors feel like they're validated. It all works together to make sure the wheels of what develops and delivers that event need from an organizer standpoint. So that's what we've been doing since, seems like the beginning of time, but 1995.
Yeah. Time flies, yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about analytics. You'd mentioned earlier in this analytics, how important, because I don't think a lot of people do those for events or know how to do it. How important are they?
Well, if you know how to capture data in a very succinct, valid way, then instead of getting 1 in 24 respondents, you have 1 in 4, which is what we've been able to, which is about 24% response rate for people attending these events. That's relatively, that's a solid, you can believe those numbers. And if you know who it is, and honestly, you start with just validating who it is from a demographic standpoint, the gender, the income, the education, what zip code they're from, what the takeaways were and satisfaction levels. Those are really important pieces of information that you then share with the event organizer. And if you're getting 1 in 4 versus 1 in 24, they're more likely to believe that data because it's a broader swath of the population attending. A lot of my competitors, which is why I decided to develop Survey Edge 10 years ago, I can't believe I've been doing it 10 years, was that they were getting such low, appallingly low 1 in 24, 1%, 2% response rates, which I was like, I can't use these instruments. And they're not, frankly, they weren't engaging like you were engaging me. It didn't engage the audience. They didn't feel like they wanted to give back. It didn't respect their intelligence, which is what you're doing with me. And when people feel validated like that, they respond. And that's so important, just like what you're doing. We have a great connection. I've never met you, but I can understand where you're coming from. And that is just being able to be perceptive of what you really want to accomplish by this communication, this important airway that we're sharing with people. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I love that. And analytics, social media is a big part of it too. Of course, it's leveraged everywhere. How do you leverage the social media aspect for the events?
You know, that is so key. And what I have to tell you, it's more about, you know, I think that the key social media that many people rely on with our segment with sport and entertainment is LinkedIn. And that's a social media that's more for professions, but also you can advertise your events on LinkedIn. I don't think a lot of people know that. face, Instagram, Facebook, those have been very successful. And I find out through our analytics how these people hear about it. So
Yeah.
if I find out they're listening to Steve's podcast, I'm going to go to you. And then your
Yeah.
sponsor's going to be happy. And they might,
Yeah.
but we haven't done a lot of, Steve, hint, hint. We haven't done a lot of podcast outreach, and we should. Honestly, I bet you'd find an amazing number of people that are listening to you that are attending these events. So
Yeah, that's a good point.
there's some great data, and I'd love to work with you on that. And anyone else that's interested, you can certainly reach out to www.gosmri.com or www.survey-edge.com. And, I'm not promoting, but I'm helping you. I'm not about making money. I'm about adding value, because the money always follows.
Yeah, it does. Can you give us a story of analytics you've used for an event and how it became very successful?
Oh my gosh, Red Bull.
Mm.
This is a great story. And Dietrich, who invented Red Bull in the early 2000s, late 1900s, he was an amazing gentleman, found the key to Red Bull and could market it in every region around the globe, other than Thailand, who had the original recipe. So I worked with Red Bull on finding out what was driving them to events. We'd go on site. I did their global Red Bull air race tour, and this was just before COVID. Now we're back, and they're still selling the product, but they haven't ramped up their events yet. We found that when we gave them a coupon, just a coupon, once they finished the results, okay, we gave them an incentive to complete it. They went to go get their free can of Red Bull, right? And they went to the merch tents to get their free can. So they would walk up, they'd pick it up, and they'd see all this other merchandise. They ended up increasing sales when we did data analytics. This is a side note, by 18%.
Nice. Very, very big. Yeah, that's a big number.
And that was a big number. And they were like, wow, we need to do this at all our events, because they're all claiming their free Red Bull, and they're going up. And when they are up there, they see all this. What happens? You end up buying more.
Yeah. And I've been to events with no swag, some with free swag, some buy the swag. How important is that? I love free. I think this story with Red Bull is awesome.
Even if you get the free is worth 2 cents.
Exactly. The ROI on that is huge. Talk about that and how swag and shirts and hats and cans can make a difference.
It's a memory. It's a token of appreciation. It's a memory of the event. And it's also something that could drive sales. And that point that I just made can be so for your sponsors, that there's a huge turnaround. Your sponsor, for example, you will advertise in the next event. We're going to be at Super Bowl, by the way.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
in New Orleans. And I just understand they got snow, and I'm hoping that things kind of clear up in the weather area. They got 8 inches. Can you believe that?
Jeez. World's changing.
So we're going to be there doing analytics at Roger Goodell's most incredible large event is Carte Blanche. I think it's probably been very successful since 1993. It's a taste of the NFL, and we do the analytics for that. We've been working with them since 1995, and I was introduced to that whole realm with the Super Bowl down in Miami. And since then, Gen Youth, a great charity, has come on and helped to promote their cause. And all the money that we raised, which after expenses last year, we raised $2 million for elementary school kids, lunch money in all 32 markets. I thought that was really, that was a great feeling. And giving back like that, and those are the types of things that it's about the greater good and the greater number, and adding value to the community. That is what now I'm at this point in my career, and what we're doing, and I can't stress how gratifying that is. 20 years ago, would I feel the same way? Maybe not, but right now, given what I'm doing, and given the field that I'm in academics already, the fact that I'm helping elementary school kids is a really good give back to me, right? So
Yeah, being philanthropic will grow an event business.
absolutely.
No, but yeah, it's a great component to that I think a lot of people miss. What's the future of events look like?
Wow, I can see that they're going more digital. They're
Mm.
going more online. You've got a lot of gaming events that are going that direction, and I think we're going to have dual components. It's going to be broadcast on iPhones, iPads, your very various digital platforms that you own. I think that we're going to see that happen. I think that through analytics, being more specialized in social media areas and how that they can drive business. And I think we're just scratching the surface with that. I know that what we're working on, our next project is, believe it or not, augmented reality. So
Yeah.
you have an app where you go, Steve, you're gonna love this. You go into a Coliseum, for example, and you hold up your phone and it allows you to track with different sensors in the environment where things are, who people are, where your friends are, where you parked your car. So you don't, as you know, sometimes you have a couple, something to drink,
Yeah,
and
you forget.
that was an issue.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
did I park? And there's only 50,000 people there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
maybe
that's
not
a
as healthy. So I think I like our augmented reality app. I have Jason McCloskey, who's one of the top uh, developers who works with Amazon Cloud Computing, and he got his degree from USC with me. And we've got a template already set up, and he's working on that next. And after our survey, Edge platform hits the airwaves, and I happen to think that the gold standard is listening to consumers. So if you have a platform that gets you great response rates, we've got a success I like a track record. So we're able to go to the next thing. So I feel pretty comfortable about telling you the future is augmented reality.
Yeah, and I believe so. I think metaverse and those different things. I'm involved with a few projects that way too. It's gonna be very interesting.
Totally.
The other thing is, what's your partnership with AI going to be like with events?
Well, we've already got, believe it or not, we've already got it.
Yeah.
I love that I have a guy that helps me co-develop a platform, and I'll just say, hey, Jason, can you do this? And he's like, sure, I can. And at the time I wasn't thinking, but he developed so incredibly profound down to the minutia detail on our platform. So I think that that's going to be a fun relationship. I think AI was already built in to
Yeah.
the question, so people can fill out those surveys without even having to have a phone. If you can just hit the audio button and just say 1B, it flies away. You can respond that way.
Yeah. I think digital and AI and augmented universes,
Huge.
it's making the online events just going to blow up because they're going to be so real. Logistics are much easier, all that you do, because that's the big thing. I mean, you want to do an event like that. And NFL is a cream de la cream of events. We know that the Super Bowl is the biggest event in the world. What, 500 million, whatever that large number is. If you could get 5% of that, it sounds like what you do, Kathleen, to get people in their events, it would be massive for companies, and they could do it online. It's even a logistic, not so much a logistic nightmare as it is now. And not saying you can't do it, because the NFL is no different than us. It's just having somebody like you to compose and direct this thing. So it's
I've been able to do it because I've been doing it for a while. And
yeah.
Experiences, and this is the way right here, right?
Yeah.
Just being able to do everything, and we already do everything on our phone. So it's being able to adapt it to maximize that and to link up. And I understand where the pain points are with consumers, because honestly, if I have to upload another app to get a service, I'm like, can't we just offer that here? I mean, I don't want.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Points that we really don't. I don't want another app on. I've already got 17 screens. Come on,
Yeah.
Steve. Like
way too much.
Which screen was that?
Yeah. Too many options. That's the other problem. Too many options, and it becomes a nightmare for that. But that'll fix itself. Last question. We're coming to the end of the show. What's one piece of advice in regards to events that you can leave the audience that they could really grow with events?
Get your data, get primary data, make sure that it's valid, reliable data. What I mean by valid, that you have a high response rate and you can use it over time, the same platform, and it gets you the same kind of consistent results. So that's what you aim for. And that's just a researcher, research kind of rule of thumb. It's out of the Bible.
Yep, no, it is. And data is the new gold. Audience, you heard it. I mean, you've heard probably before, but it is. I'm talking to experts I've talked to. It's a gold. And you're grabbing that gold, that pot of gold. People want to reach out to you, connect with you. How can they do that, Kathleen?
Well, thank you for that. They can email me, info at go-s as in Sam, MRI.com. I'd be delighted to get back, delighted to hear anything. Thank you, Steve, for being such a gracious host and taking the bull by the horns and getting me on this.
You bet. No, it's all good. It's all great, actually. Real quick, I got a question for you to learn more about you. Okay. So I've reserved a table or restaurant for 4. You're obviously going to sit in one of the chairs. Who would you invite, dead or alive? Why would they be invited? And what food would you order?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Let's see. Well, you know what? Wayne Heisinger, what an incredible genius he was. My dissertation chair, he was, Tilly Holman was a great gentleman from USC. And I've got, some professors from my undergrad, Lynn Emery, just amazing people. They're not with us and I'm so blessed to have had the opportunity. What would I order? I would order anything they wanted because they're the ones that are driving the ship. And it's always about listening to your consumer, and I'd find out what they wanted.
Yeah, there's your data queen. That's the data queen right there. Get the data and order what the data tells you.
Listen to the consumer.
Yes, way to end the show. And audience, your call to action at the end here, subscribe to the channel. Here's why. You're gonna get this in a link, and it's a gift. And a lot of people don't look at podcasts as gifts, or I haven't heard that. But if you know somebody wants to put on an event, you share this link with people. They can listen to Kathleen, see her passion, see her expertise, see how long she's been doing it. And then she connects with Kathleen, or he connects with Kathleen, and they help build an event. You've just given the gift to help people. So go ahead and subscribe to the...
Steve, if you want to real quick, if you want to make it down, if you make it down to the Super Bowl down in New Orleans, I've got a ticket for you. Taste of the NFL.
All right. Well, we'll talk. Definitely. Look at that. That's why I love being a host. You never know what you're going to get. With that being said, Kathleen and I thank you so much for watching or listening to this podcast. Pleasure. We'll see you all in the next episode of Doing Business with a Servant's Heart. Thank you.
Wonderful.